So I'm logged in as Darren Smith. He is a manager. You can already see on the home screen that he has received the inbox task for PDD 2023 People Manager. I can also navigate to the top right-hand side of the screen to the inbox. So in the inbox task, you will see some welcome text welcoming you to this year's Performance and Development Dialogue. There is some instructional text on what the employee should do. And when I click Get Started, it directly opens up the PDD. So the first section is the performance section, which Leah mentioned is a series of questions relating to performance. These are free text fields. And if I scroll down, I can see that there are 4 questions. And that is because this is the People Manager template. So individual contributors will only have 3 questions in this section. But let me go ahead and just quickly add some answers in here. So as I said, this is a free text field. We can also open out the box so that it's a bit bigger. We can also do some formatting, such as add bullet points if the employee wants to add additional details, as well as some formatting options here as well. I'll just go ahead and add some example answers for each of the questions. So this question is, what didn't go well? So I'll just add an example answer here. The next question is, what did you do in addition to regular tasks and activities? So I'll add that I picked up a new certification. But these are free text fields and are not limited in character length. The final question, which is related only to the people managers, is how did you drive the cultural development in your team? So again, I'll just add an answer in here. And once I've added answers to all of the questions, if I scroll down, you can see the summary section at the bottom. And Workday is telling us that this performance section is weighted with 75% of the rating. And it's prompting me to select a rating. As you can see here, it's mandated. So if the person does not select a rating, they will receive an error message. So let me go ahead and add a rating here. I can also add an additional comment. So if there's something I feel I want to summarize that has not been answered in the above questions, I can add something here. And all the information that I'm adding here will be displayed to the manager in the next step. So now that the performance section is completed, I'll click next and it takes me to the competency section. Just to recap, these are Zeiss's core competencies displaying here. And you can see that there are 9 items because, again, I am a people manager currently logged in Workday. If I were an individual contributor, we would just see 6 core competencies. So what the employee has to do here is select a rating. Again, you can see these are mandated. You would receive an error if you did not select a rating here. And when I select a rating, you should see automatically some examples popping up underneath. And if I navigate between ratings, the description or the examples change. So I'll just go ahead and select some sample ratings for each of the competencies. I can also open it out here into a wider full page view if you find that helpful. I'll go ahead and click some varied ratings here. So I'm simply selecting ratings for all of the core competencies. And once I've done that, I will close the full window view by going back to the arrows at the top right of the screen. And if I scroll down to the summary section, again, we see that overall rating weight. So this section is 25% of the overall performance rating. And this time in the competency section, you can see that the Workday has calculated the overall proficiency rating based on the individual competency ratings that I have selected here. So unlike the performance section where we selected the rating from the drop-down list, this section is automatically calculated and cannot be changed. So I've now completed the competency section. I will click next to go to the feedback section. So in this section, if you have received any feedback throughout the last 12 months, it would display here. You can see that Darren has received some feedback related to his work on the cross-team project, and you can see who that's from and the date that that was given. So as an employee, so I am now Darren, I can add a comment as to how I feel on that feedback. And again, all of this will be displayed to the manager in the next step. So the first three sections were past looking sections. So they were evaluating the employee's performance, competencies and feedback throughout the year. And the idea with the next section is the development and career section. And we have some additional questions. So this is both past and future looking. We can see already the questions are asking how the person managed their work-life balance, how they would like to manage it in the next 12 months. So I'll just add an answer here. So now that I've answered that question, the next question asks what I will be working on in the next 12 months. So I'll just add an answer here. If I scroll down, the next question asks what development areas I'm interested in and where I want my career to go. So I'll add another example answer. If I click next, we are brought to the development item section. And if you've already used the development item functionality in Workday, then any development items you've added would pre-populate here in the PDD. So you can see that Darren has already added a development item and that is populated here. But within the PDD, I can make changes to this, such as I can change the status as well as adding a status note. So I can say this course is booked for, let's just say May. And throughout the year, Darren can edit this or update this from his Workday profile as well. If I click into the History tab, it shows when it was last updated and by whom. I also have the option to add new development items here. So if I click Next, Workday brings me to the Review and Submit page, and that is the chance for employees to check everything that they've added throughout the PDD. So it includes all the answers to the questions, the ratings, all of the competency ratings, the feedback, the development and career section, and finally the development section, which is the development items. If I did want to change anything, I could simply navigate back to the section by clicking the section in the left-hand side over here. So it's really easy to update anything you might have forgotten. You can also click Save for Later at the bottom if you're not quite ready to submit this yet. But let's say I am ready to submit. I go to the Review and Submit page and click Submit.